I am sorry, we will not be doing business as usual, rather it's going to be business unusual. I will not be posting things there for you to look at while I talk, so rather I will expect you to listen to me. I'm very happy in the foundation that the desk officer or the programs manager has given us, because it is important to know some very key points in environmental issues, so that when we zero down to methane abatement in Nigeria or globally, we will understand what we need. Before 1992, there was no serious action about world environmental issues. There wasn't. But from 1992, the United Nations started engagement and negotiation, which resulted in the promulgation of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. It is important to take note of that. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It was negotiated in 1992, but it came into force in 1994. As of 1992, we had 154 countries that signed up to the international agreement. But as of 1994, when United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change came into force, we had 198 countries that became parties to that agreement. And unfortunately, international agreement is not like the law which we have in states. It is very problematic to enforce international legislation, because you don't have international police that will come across sovereign nations to enforce the laws, to come and check. In fact, the principle of state sovereignty makes it difficult for Ghana to cross over to Nigeria to ask Nigeria what Nigeria is doing in the very next street after the boundary between Nigeria and Ghana. International sovereignty makes it sacrosanct for Nigeria to take care of whatever is within its own boundaries and territory. Ghana, the same thing, and other countries. So because of that, when there is negotiation of international agreement, you will not expect that international agreement to be enforced by the United Nations, no, except it is something that has to do with the Security Council. Agreements of the Security Council is binding on everyone. It's binding, and it becomes a very serious offense to violate anything that has to do with security. So environmental issues are not like that. So, for a very long time you have heard something about global warming and the effect of global warming. I remember that when I presented my dissertation some years back, my external examiner said I sounded very alarming, that the world was going to become extinct, or some parts of the world may become extinct, by activities of humans themselves, activities of you and I. So when these terms are called anthropogenic sources or effects, we are simply talking about those things which we do by ourselves, which have the effect of destroying the environment. That's what we're talking about. And so from 1992, there have been series of what they call COP, C-O-P, Conference Meeting of Parties. COP, that is what it means. COP means Conference Meeting of Parties. So if you hear COP 10, that means the 10th meeting of parties to that agreement. What does that mean? All the countries that are signatories to that agreement come together. The leaders come together to peer review to see how they have enforced the agreement, what problems they have had in the course of enforcing the agreement. And as this is going on, you want to know that researchers who are very serious heads as far as environmental issues are concerned are also researching to know what is responsible for global warming. Because global warming is what led to international environmental crisis and affect animals and affect human lives. So, what can be done to avoid this? For a very long time, knowledge has been that carbon dioxide has been the greatest problem. And there have been solutions reeled out to see how to manage this, including planting of green trees. Of course, elementary biology will teach you that while humans breathe in oxygen, plants breathe in carbon dioxide. The green environment around you, while you breathe out the carbon dioxide, plants will take that in and give you back oxygen. And there's going to be this synergy that's going to lead to beautiful life in the environment as God created it. But some years back, researchers have extended the paradigm, have extended the narrative to situate on methane, which has far-reaching negative impact in human environment, for which we have no idea it did. I want to remember what the desk officer, the programs manager said. There are three key elements. And she said something about energy. Energy. Apart from energy, she said something about agriculture. And she said something about waste disposal. I don't know whether you remember this. Yes. Those three are very important. As you are speaking, I'm sure you know that there is serious gas flaring in Ibom. When we talk about gas flaring, our minds usually go to facilities in One. No, let's not go to One. Let's not go there. Let's go to Ibom. For those who have had opportunity of visiting Ibom, you know that even as you're standing on Ibom soil, you may have earth tremor. You know, you have some shaking in the soil, and you become afraid whether there is not going to be earthquake soon. There's gas flaring in Ibom. There's gas flaring in One. In fact, wherever you have some of these small installations, they flare the gas, associated gas. We have not been able to develop technology that is good enough for us to reintegrate the gas, the associated gas, for useful purposes. We have not been able to have that. And so there have been policies over policies, plans over plans, time allotted over time, where Nigeria will stop gas flaring. But I'm sure you know for so many years now, the exercise continues. Unfortunately, we have not been able to stop it. But let us also look at other areas if we talk about waste disposal. Please, how many of us here live in Uyo? Can you please show? Okay. I don't know how long ago you had business to go that took you past Uyo Village Road. Has anything in the recent few weeks taken you past Uyo Village Road? Yes. Beautiful. Okay. And Uyo Village Road is very close to the government house. It's very close to Akwa High Court headquarters. Very close. In fact, it's behind. There are sometimes you have business to do in court. But because of the stench that comes from Uyo Village Road, the court environment becomes very difficult to stay. This works in government house will perceive Uyo Village Road from the government house. And so Uyo Village Road provides us with an example of mismanagement of waste, which can lead to methane emission. And I do not know whether your mind has gone to what methane is. For those of us who ran away from chemistry, yes, some of us ran away from chemistry. I didn't like chemistry at all. I don't know why. And fortunately, it was a Reverend Father who taught, and that Reverend Father, I used to serve him. He became a Monsignor, Father Eden. Emmanuel Ibom, God rest his soul, he died some years back. Let's come back to ask what methane is and try to see whether we can answer it. I sit near a professor. I do not know what area professor majors, but chemistry. So chemistry. Professor will be very, very versed with methane and issues of such. So he will really understand this much more than we do. Methane is a gas emitted from a variety of anthropogenic, that is human-influenced and natural sources. Anthropogenic emission sources include landfills, oil and natural gas systems, agricultural activities, coal mining, stationary and mobile combustion, waste treatment, and certain industrial processes. I am sure somebody else with expertise in this area will have opportunity to talk about it. But it is important for us to know this. It is a form of gas, and right from your house, your activities may cause emission of methane. And we have been told that methane emission is far more dangerous than carbon dioxide, which we have known for years. And so our business is, what kind of engagement can we have that abates? Abate is a very big and frightening term. So why not say reduce? Let's start from reduction to abatement. But the word abatement is also a very ambitious word to use. How can it be reduced? If, for instance, the emission is 45%, how can it be reduced to 20% in 5 years? What can you do as individuals sitting down there? Not government, not institutions, not hospitals, not schools, but what can I do as a person to reduce methane emission? I think that's our business. And I'm very sure that if each one of us can answer that question, then we would be in a positive roadmap already to reducing methane emission. And when methane is reduced, when the emission is reduced, we will stand to gain. Our crop yield will be better. Life expectancy will improve. The life of our livestock will improve. Who knows, our economy may improve too. So I think this is why an organization would pump in a lot of money. And globally there is what we call Global Methane Initiative, that appropriates money in billions of dollars to help in reduction of methane emission. So I think we should all participate one way or the other in our little way on the reduction of methane emission. So it is very important that we contribute to environmental sanity, environmental justice. That is why we're even talking about sustainable development. Sustainable development talks about development which takes care of the needs of people who are living today without jeopardizing the future generation. That is sustainable development. So whatever form of development we engage in, whatever form of life we should engage in should be sustainable, thinking about the future generations.